qualifying, the Australian team certainly did have a couple of chinks in the armour. It was the two riders that, Michael Hepburn and Glenn O'Shea, that were not quite as strong as the, I guess, the trains, the locomotives that are Rowan Dennis and Jack Bobridge. Those two riders were following each other as well, so while they did start to slow down, it was like a double whammy. They had to wait until both Hepburn and O'Shea swung up off the track before the fast guys could come through and pick the pace back up again.
The Ashes on the board, Great Britain versus Australia. They've got 2 Olympic Games gold medalists in that British squad. With the Australian squad, they've got world champions. Jack Bobridge is the rider that has the responsibility for getting them underway. It is then Michael Hepburn, who is one of the most promising young cyclists, not just in Australia, but in the world, who's in second position. We then move further up the track to Glenn O'Shea, and at the top, it is Rowan Dennis for Australia. Rowan Dennis was the strongest of the Australian quartet in qualifying. He needs to stay calm and save that for the final kilometre. Here we go. Ed Clancy starts for Great Britain, the Olympic Games gold medalist. The world champion Jack Bobridge gets them underway for Australia. 4,000 metres at 16 laps of the track. It is Ashes on the boards of Melbourne.
Ed Clancy, the start rider for the British team, he's incredibly fast. He rides a 101 kilometre on his own, which is super fast for an endurance athlete. Both teams doing, both Bobridge and Clancy, the two start riders, doing a full lap and a quarter turn, which is something that's just changed in the last year or so as well. Very difficult for a team to do that. It's Peter Kenau coming through for the Brits. He'll be followed by Stephen Burke and then Gerard Thomas. We saw him as a road rider at the Tour de France last year. He's back on the track now. He's the fourth man for the British team.
And we've seen Geraint Thomas wear the white jersey at the Tour de France for a few days as well. 3.3 of a second Great Britain is up, but Australia is staying calm. Glenn O'Shea swinging up for Australia as the British squad. They still look very smooth as well. They've got all the experience. They've got 2 men in that squad that were in the Beijing Olympic Games, but they are well up at this point, Great Britain. Should we start to get nervous? Not yet, surely.
Well, they've started quicker than they did in the qualifying round. They went in that first kilometre, standing kilometre, at 1 minute and 2.4 seconds. That is incredibly fast. The Aussies, they said to me that they went out a bit too quick in the qualifying round. That's why they blew in the end. But they've gone out about the same time as what they did in the qualifying, and it's slower than the Brits.
And it's starting to come back. They are neck and neck. It's 0.004 of a second, the difference, with Great Britain ever so slightly up. And the Brits now are looking, well, a little more ragged than what the Australians are, because the Australians are picture perfect at this point, and they've hit the lead.
Well, here they come. What a great battle. That first kilometre is very, very fast on world standards. So let's see what happens. It might come back to bite them in the final kilometre as they get to that 4 kilometre mark. Both teams looking quite good, though. Really strung out, nice and smooth, trying to hold back, so they've got something left for that final kilometre.
That was Glenn O'Shea, number 3 at the back of the quartet for Australia, who was the one that struggled ever so slightly in qualifying. It's Rowan Dennis who now comes to the front, and with Rowan Dennis on the front, we expect him to do longer turns than the other riders, because he is Superman today.
They went through that second kilometre there. They've got 2 kilometre mark down now. There was 1 minute 58.59 for the Australian team. It's neck and neck at the moment. Both teams still have 4 riders, which is good. Even numbers for the time being.
Jack Bobridge swings up and he steps out of the way. Hepburn now comes to the front for Australia. It's Great Britain who are now in front. I went to the local playground with my daughter this morning. She said, "Daddy, seesaw." She'll be saying the same right now. It's a seesaw battle between Great Britain and Australia. It's the Brits with their nose in front.
Well, mind you, both teams are on world record pace at the moment. If they can hold this right through, they could be right on a world record.
It's Peter Kenau that leads for Great Britain. Australia still got all 4 together, as now on the front is Rowan Dennis. They're down to 3, Australia. This is bad. Down to 3. It's Great Britain with a huge advantage now.
Yeah, certainly it was Glenn O'Shea that went off there. It's left Hepburn, Dennis and Bobridge on their own. Just the 3 riders. The Brits are also down to 3 now. One rider's just gone off to the back there, and I think who was that? That was
Well, this is Geraint Thomas that is now on the front. He's the locomotive from Great Britain. He is sacrificing this year's Tour de France. He's not riding Paris-Roubaix. He's on the track. It's Great Britain who are up with Bell Lap. It's 0.7. Surely the Brits are going to be strong enough to hold on. Are they on world record pace? Looking for 3:53.3. It will be the gold medal to Great Britain. Surely the clock stops on the third, but Australia are fighting back. It's going to be close. It is 0.1 of a second. It is Great Britain who win, and they set a new world record.
There it is. We thought the world record would fall. We thought both teams would actually go and get it. But it was Great Britain just beating their world record that was set back at the Beijing Olympics. It's only 1/10 of a second faster. But there is the benchmark leading into the next big match, which is going to be the London Olympics. Very close. Great congratulations to both teams. The Aussie team looking good, but both had little chinks in the armour, finishing with 3 riders. This
is Geraint Thomas that we're looking at now from Wales. He said, as we saw from the opening, what better place to beat Australia than in Australia itself. Look forward to London.
Peter Kenau, one of the British riders, also tweeted last week how he loves Australia and that everybody wants to stop and talk to them. He's never spoken to so many, I think, randomers was what he called them. I'm sure too many people want to talk to him now after putting Australia down.
Here's another look at it. It was an extraordinary race. It was the seesaw battle, wasn't it? The average speed, mind you, 61.724 kilometres per hour. Try and do that on a flat piece of road with a tailwind. It's not easy just to get to that speed, let alone hold it for 4 kilometres. Hats off to Great Britain. Great performance.
Oh, absolutely. Last year, it was the Australian team that were in front. They've had the change with the British team. They've brought back the road riders, Peter Kenau, Geraint Thomas, top-class pursuiters from the past. They went off to be road riders. They've had to try and mix it up and come back. It's not a very easy thing to do, to come back from the road and step back into the track scene. They've done it very well. They're now the world champions and world record holders again.
Let's assess the Australians then. It's difficult to be critical of them when they lose by such... Well, finish second. It's not lose at all, it's second. It's a silver medal at the World Championships. How can they make up the difference between now and August for the London Olympics? Clearly the chink in the armour for Australia was Glenn O'Shea, but he's on the back of 2 years out through injury and illness. He's only going to get better. Surely they persist with Glenn O'Shea, and Rowan Dennis, he was outstanding.
Oh, look, absolutely. Glenn O'Shea's also trying to prepare for the Omnium for the Olympic Games as well, so he's trying to juggle the 2 events, the team pursuit and the Omnium. Just on the outside, waiting to step in, was Alexander Edmondson as well. He's just a young rider. That's why they didn't use him here. He wasn't quite developed and strong enough. We've got a couple of months to go. Both O'Shea and Edmondson will definitely improve by London.
Hats off to Rowan Dennis. This is Michael Hepburn that's just hugging. Class, they were the first down to the British squad, to congratulate them. That is impressive. And appropriately getting the applause of the crowd. Ed Clancy with the red hair, he's already got an Olympic Games gold medal. Wonder whether he'll get another one. Peter Kenau in the middle, Stephen Berg off on the right-hand side, and it was Geraint Thomas off to the left.